You guys are in for a treat this evening. My name is Dr. Joe Cannon. For some of you that don't know, I've been in this business for about 3 years now, and I'm honored to be your host tonight to explain some of the great, wonderful information that we have to share with you guys. There are going to be 2 or 3 things that you get out of this. One is you're going to get information on what it is that we do to protect and help families and the importance of why we do it. And then there's also a business opportunity for any of you that might be interested, that may be guests on the call this evening. Now, this is going to be no longer than a 30-minute presentation, so we're going to get right into it. And I respect you guys for being on time, those of you that have been on time. So anyhow, again, Dr. Joe Cannon, Team Legacy underneath the hierarchy of Team Elite. And we're going to get straight into it. Where I come from the background of helping people. I tell people I'm a service entrepreneur. That's what I call myself, because a lot of the things that I'm involved in, you guys, deals with service. As you see on the pictures, I come from a barbering background. I've been cutting hair since I was 15, but I started my own barbershop at 21, 22 years old. Haven't worked for nobody since. I've been an entrepreneur ever since that time. And I dibbled and dabbled in other things. You know, I wanted to be financially free and increase my income. And so I wrote a book and so forth, so on. And then I went into real estate. They're just trying to figure out where that fit is at, right? And as time went on, God called me out to preach. And so I became a minister for a few years. And after a few years, God called me out to pastor, right? And I believe it was my first year while I was pastoring. I'm sorry, I have my video off. I believe it was while my first year I was pastor, and I got a call from a friend of mine about this business, and I took on an opportunity. So therefore, you see the financial professional, all 3 wrapped in one. So what it is that we do, the name of the company is WFG, stand for World Financial Group. I tell people it stands for Working for God. And why do I say that? Listen, don't let what happened to me make you make your decision. Make your decision before this stuff happens to you, right? But what happened to me is I had to close all 7 barbershops when COVID happened. And also during COVID, 2 of my rental properties stopped paying rent and I couldn't evict them. And so I got involved with this business at the right time, right place and right time for me. I got involved in my first year, made a substantial amount of money, and I helped a huge amount of families. So what are we? We're a financial industry. We're one of the most largest financial distributors in the world, but we don't own any of the products. So that means our overhead is low. If you look at some of the business industries, that's what's happening in the business industry today. If you look to the left, you see Uber, Facebook, Airbnb, Instagram, and so forth, so on. These companies do not own the products that they have. Airbnb don't own the house that they're renting out, but they're making the money. Uber do not own the car, but they're making the money. Well, WFG, we don't own any other products, but we have access to all the products. Question: what is the greatest risk for most Americans? Asset protection, or would you say it's income protection? I know you can't answer that out loud, but think to yourself, what is the greatest risk for Americans today? Asset protection or income protection? Then another thing I want you to think about is, what's your most valuable product? What is your most valuable product? Is it your home? Is it your vehicle? Is it your car? Or is it yourself? I would like to believe it's yourself. I know we're more valuable than our homes, than our cars, than our cell phone, because we're the one that's working to pay the bills. But unfortunately, a lot of times we insure the car, the home, and phone and leave us out the picture. But we are the MVP. We're the most valuable product. So therefore, you ought to take that into consideration and prioritize what's more valuable, where you're going to place some insurance at. And then another thing I want you to think about is, how many days forward could you survive if you stop working today? I'm not talking about even willingly stopping working today, right? But what if something happened to you and you couldn't go to work? How many days forward could you survive? A lot of people, majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Majority of the people don't even have more than $5,000 in their savings. If that's you, then that's a serious problem. Look at what's happening today. Why are we in this industry? We're in this industry to make sure we get families protected and make sure that they're able to leave a legacy behind when somebody passed away instead of a liability. This right here is an example of people that leaves a liability behind when something happens to them, or even if it's not something happened to them where they pass away, but if something happened to them and they can't go to work. A lot of people do GoFundMe accounts and so forth, so on. This young lady right here says, my name is, I am an RN in Mississippi. For the last 26 years, I gave myself to the care of my patients. Then I became the patient. Well, when she became the patient, she didn't, what's going on? The money is going out and the money not lasting. So now I want to start a GoFundMe account to help me stay above waters. And I looked at some research looking at online. If we crunch the numbers just a tad further, it says that approximately 280 GoFundMe funeral campaigns happens every single day. That's 7,115 deaths a day in the United States. GoFundMe is where a lot of people turn to. Well, guess what? We are the solution to GoFundMe. This survey right here, some of the key findings: 78% of Americans have a savings account. Most Americans have 1,000 to 5,000 in savings, as I just said. 51% of Americans have 5,000 or less in savings, while 33% have 1,000 or less. You cannot survive off of that. The median savings is 4,500. 71% of Americans keep at least some of their savings at a brick and mortar bank. 53% of Americans with a savings account have more than one. So look at the numbers. This is real life. This is what's happening. And we are here to change the trajectory of what's happening in our society and what's happening in our culture. So how do we help families? We help families with income protection, probate, market protection, and debt management, right? What is income protection? Where your money is at the bank, or if your money is in 401ks and tax deferred accounts, your money is not protected. It can go up and down with the market. Somebody could come in your bank account and wage garnish that account. So we help families make sure they put some protection on their income, market protection, debt management, infinite banking, legacy transfer, college funds, tax strategy, and also compound interest. So what is legacy transfer? Think about this. There are three things in life that cause chaos in a family. That's sickness, death, and retirement. A lot of times when somebody gets sick, as I just explained, and you can't go to work, guess what? Your money stops. And then all of a sudden that causes chaos in the family. Then the other thing is death. Death causes chaos. Why? Because now all of a sudden the breadwinner then passed on. And instead of leaving a legacy, you leave a liability. And then retirement, that could cause chaos because a lot of people outlive their retirement. So what we do here with WFG, we help families to avoid the liability, and we help families help them get legacy transfer and also college funds, tax-free strategy, and compound interest. So what is compound interest? Compound interest is when your money is compounded, not simple interest. Your money is actually doubling. And how most people save, they save in banks. Most people say 529 plans for kids for college, and those two vehicles are not the answer, right? Why is they not the answer? Well, banks, they have very little compound interest, right? And then the banks on an interest rate is only giving you 0.06% on your money. If you know about the rule of 72, if you take the number 72 and you divide it by the rate of return that you are getting on your money, it will tell you how long it takes for your money to double. 1%, your money doubles every 72 years. That's way too long to wait. The bank is giving you less than 1%. Then if you look at a 529 plan, if people trying to save for college for their kids on there, right? The negative about the 529 is you have to use it for college or you get penalized if you use it for something else. And it's variable up and down. Well, the solution, you guys, is the IUL all the way to the right where all the green checks are at. That's the solution. And why is that the solution? Because it's a 3-in-1 solution. Right? It's a 3-in-1 solution. They have perks over here: protection, emergency funds, retirement, college funds, and savings. This code at the bottom, 7702. This is the IRS code. So that code there, you guys, protects your money against lawsuits, judgment liens, IRS predators, creditors, and so forth, so on. This account also, you guys, have been outpacing inflation over the last 40 years, this account has given a 10.22% rate of return on average. If you know anything about inflation, inflation happens about 3 to 4% every year. The cost of living keep going up. I don't know if you've been to the store lately, but dozen of eggs and went up, right? If you went to the barbershop, your hairdo, that then went up. If you driving, gas goes up. They got control to control how you spending your money. Why don't you take control on how you grow your money? This IUL, you could grow your money substantially and you could become your own bank. That's why it's family bank strategy. And then the other thing about this account is how it protects your money is when the market goes up, your money goes up. But when the market goes down, your money locks in place. Unlike a 401k or mutual funds and so forth, so on, if you're looking at the comparison here, you have two accounts, both starting with $250,000 and don't add anything else to it, right? But over time, if you look to the left and you see those red squares around red squares, right? That means that the market went negative. So those that had a 401k, mutual funds, they lost money. But somebody like myself that got an IUL didn't lose a penny of his dollar. Matter of fact, we have accounts where your money still grows at 0.75%, even when everybody else then lost. So when you look at these two comparisons, look, at the bottom right, the IUL outperformed that 401k by about 1.5 million. And another great thing about the index account, you guys, it's a tax-free strategy. I know you don't like paying taxes. It's tax-free. So you not only do you grow your money and grow it tax-free, you get to pull it out tax-free and leverage. I mean, it's amazing. Whoever invited you out, get back with them and let them explain to you. But you could actually borrow against your IUL while keeping your money still in an account, still earning interest, although you use a loan against your money. And the great thing about it is you don't even have to pay the money back if you don't like to. Another thing about the IUL, it comes with living benefits. Remember, you get sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, anything like that. This account can pay you up to 90% of your whole policy value while you're living. That's why we call this life insurance and not death insurance. Death insurance, your only person benefit from that is your beneficiary when you die. These accounts, you guys, you can benefit from it while you're living. If you got chronic illness where you was unable to do 2 or 3 daily activities, this account will pay you up to 24% of your policy value. So let's say your policy value is $1 million. That's $240,000 a year that this account can pay you. And now you have money to pay whoever taking care of you. If you get terminally ill, this account will pay you the whole policy up front. If the doctor says you got less than 12 months to live, this account will pay you all the way up, all your money right up front. Then it comes with a funeral concierge. The funeral concierge package, when you pass away, nobody want to deal with the funeral, burials, and all that stuff. All your loved one have to do is call Everest, and they'll take care of the whole funeral arrangements for you. That is this living benefit portion right here. Now, this is an example of one that I drew up real quick just to show you some real numbers. This is a 30-year-old IUL with $1 million policy. If you see right there, $1 million. Now, this illustration is only going to show you at a 7% growth because by law, that's all we could show, right? But these accounts can give up to 12 and 13% rate of return. And over the last 20 years, it have given more than 10% rate of return about 13 years out of the last 20. This account will last you all the way till you 122 years old, if you live that long, right? And then this account, this guy putting $1,000 a month into this account, that's $12,000 a year. Now, if you see where it says 7 paid premium, he is allowed to put $55,000 a year into this account if he came across some extra money. Why is that so beneficial? Well, I'll tell you this. I'll give you something else to think about. If you have an apartment unit and you own an apartment unit that has 5 floors, would you rather rent out all 5 floors or just one? I'm pretty sure all you guys say all 5. That's great because why? The profit margin is that much better. So that's exactly how IUL works. The more you fund it, the sooner you're able to fund it, the more beneficial your money will grow. But look at this, a 30-year-old do $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 for the year, right? All the way to the right, his cash surrender value. So look at his age at 45 years old. He already got $205,000 in this account that he can borrow from. So let's say he take out a $100,000 loan. He still got $205,000 in his account still growing, although he's using that $100,000 loan to pay off his house. Another thing about this account, it started off at $1 million policy. But if you look all the way to the right, his death benefit is now 1.2 million, because the money that you put into this account, the money that grows, it also get added to your death benefit. So go all the way down to the bottom at 65, right? That's when most people retire. Well, if you go all the way to the right, he now got $1.3 million in this account. Just off of 7% growth, not off of 12, not off of 13, but off of 7% growth. He now got 1.3 million. His death benefit is 2.3 million. And all he put in out of pocket was $612,000. Woo! Y'all don't know when to shout. We at church now, huh? But 612,000 he put in, he got 1.3 million. And then if you look to the bottom, at the bottom left, 76,000, this is actually tax-free distribution and income, because he started this when he was young and he's dumping money in. Now imagine if he dumped in more than 1,000 a month. What if he dumped in 2,000 some months or whatever? Then the money can look way better. This is home for me right here, you guys. This is actually my sister. I was able to sit down with my sister about 18 months ago, 18 months ago or so at my mom's house, and sat down with her and didn't know if anything was wrong with her. We got her a policy, $55 a month for $250,000 policy, a term with living benefits. After I got that policy, 18 months later, my sister get diagnosed with breast cancer. That was right after Mother's Day. She got diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 months later, she passed away. While she was in the hospital, I was putting in paperwork to start the process on getting her living benefits so she could get the check while she's living, but then she passed away, right? And I'm just so thankful that she didn't procrastinate, that she moved forward and got a policy, because now her husband got $100,000 in tax-free money. My nephew got $50,000 in tax-free money. And my other two nephews, when they turn 18, will get $50,000 in tax-free money. So it's just very important with some of the things with what we have going. It's very important to make sure we get our friends and family protected. And if you are the breadwinner, you better make sure you're getting your family protected, because if they pass away, guess where they coming? And when people be looking for family members, a lot of times families scatter when you're talking about money. So it's very important. $55 a month. If you do $55 a month and you want to save $250,000, it will take you 378 years just to save up that amount of money. All she did was sign her name, got approved, and instantly $250,000 in her reserve for her families. That's amazing. That's what we do. Other thing, you guys, transitioning from an IUL into an annuity, this is a fact on what we do with help those that have a 401k that's tired of losing their money up and down. Anybody that's 59 and a half years old or over, we roll their money over from a 401k into an index annuity. Now, why do we do that? Why do we do that? And another thing, if you have an old 401k, it don't matter how old you are, you can roll your money over. But why? Because if you roll your money over, it guarantees you no loss of your principal money that you roll over. You won't have to worry about losing it, right? Your money grows with the market and doesn't go down with the market. So I have an index strategy. It's competitive rates of return. You also get bonuses. They're giving a 30% bonus just for rolling your money over. So if you got $1 million in your 401k and you roll that over, that now turned into 1.3 million because of the 30% bonus. These products are amazing. Another thing about it is you had an opportunity to turn on lifetime income. That's income for the rest of your life by turning on that income. Lifetime income. And it'd be, of course, you still would have to pay taxes on that money because that money never been taxed. But this is what we do. And you'd be able to pull and utilize that. So get back to the person that invited you out and they could explain to you a little bit more. This book right here, knowledge is in books, right? Once you get the knowledge in you, then it'll go from your head to your heart. You understand the product, and that's all it takes. This book right here, Money, Wealth, Life Insurance, it talks about how banks invest money in life insurance assets. Look at all the money that Bank of America have in life insurance assets. 19 billion. Right now, it's about 25 billion because this book is about 3 years old. But why do banks put money in life insurance assets when the banks don't never die? It's about the growth of the account, you guys, what we can do with this account. At the bottom, look, it says, this is one of the safest capitals that a bank can have. So just what the bank's doing is what I'm doing, and we educating other families on how to do it. So if you ain't done it yet, don't procrastinate, get to it. Let's do it. This right here, look at this. How many legs do you have on your table, income-wise? This is very important because if you only have one leg of income, what if I only had one barbershop and my shop's closed? Or what if all of my shops was my only source of income, right? The struggle starts. But when you have multiple legs of income, one leg break, your table's still standing. Two legs break, it's still standing. It's wobbling, but it's still standing, right? Then the other leg break is halfway. It's still up though, right? That one-legged table is going to fall over. So make sure if you only have one source of income, you make sure you get another source of income. And that's one of those things where you could actually take on this business as an opportunity. 3 ways most people make money. The first one, it says personal income. You exchanging time for money in this limited time. You only could work so many hours in a day. Say you did $100 an hour for 24 hours. That's $2,400 for that job, right? For them 24 hours, right? Just what it say, that's the journey of the broke. And then the other thing is residual income. That's that money that pay you while you sleep. That's that Michael Jordan money. Every time he sells some shoes, he gets some more money, right? And then you have leverage income. This is leveraging other people's time. I'd rather have 1% of everybody else's effort than 100% of my own. Now you have a business, right? The first one, you live in paycheck to paycheck. This is how most people in society responds to employee and entrepreneurship, right? If you look to the left, you probably didn't heard it before too. The employee on the left say, man, my job paid me $25 an hour. And then they say, you can say, is your boss hiring? Give your boss my resume. What's their website to apply for that job? People are hungry for that, right? They want $25 an hour. Even if it was $40 an hour, they want that, right? But then when you can be your own boss, set your own schedule, spend time with your family, create your own time, that's a business owner and you earn $50,000 a month. Society responds like this. Everyone can't be an entrepreneur. Wow, must be nice. Wish I could be that lucky. You are that lucky. All you got to do is apply yourself. You got to put forth the step and you got to respond. You got to have the responsibility, right? Respond ability. Everybody had an ability to respond. It's all on how you respond. Are you going to respond negative? Or are you going to respond positive? Or are you going to respond and say, I just work for somebody? Or are you going to respond and say, no, I'm ready to be my own boss? You had the ability to respond and make a decision. These are some people that's winning in our team. Young guy, right? Pediatrics. And look at the bottom and tell you what they used to do and how much money they made last year. So just to show you, the list goes on and on. You're talking about extra income doing this on a part-time basis. Some not even on a part-time, some on just a referral basis and making money on the side. So if you're looking for extra income and you want to make some money on the side outside of what you're doing, this is definitely the right place for you. I'm telling you. This is a young HR professional, supervisor in auto industry. So you see the different work that these people, the backgrounds where they come from, business owners, business owner. This is income from last year, from 2022 to 2023, right? And some of this is very short. Like, look at this, only 5 months, $31,000. Most people don't make that in a year. Most people don't make that in a year. James Triplett, business owner, right? $36,500. We turn your annual income into your monthly income over here. Your annual income into your monthly income here. Rita and doctor of pharmacy and registered nurse, $40,000. And the numbers keep growing. You can be on here. Now, I know we're showing money and so forth, so on, not to impress you, but just to impress upon you the seriousness. A lot of times I see a lot of people struggling and they just wearing themselves out. Going to work, punching the clock, and I'll be in my head like, wow, you don't even have to do that. You could be making $56,000 a month right at home. But you got to respond. You have to respond. We come from all different backgrounds. Registered nurse, right? It sounds like it's a lot of nurses. So if it's any nurses on the call, make sure you get involved. That kind of rhyme. Any nurses on the call, make sure you get involved. $60,000 from 2022 all the way to 2023. And the number's going up. 64,000, 72,000, right? This guy just joined the business in what, August 2022, already made $72,000 doing this business. 93,000 registered nurse. You guys see the numbers? This is no game. This is really happening. Minnie Wango, 97,000. Regina and James, 119,000. We're talking about in the last 12 months, you guys. And in this business, we actually have people making millions in the last 12 months. This is me and my wife, pastor, business owner, right? Another registered nurse. The last 12 months, not the last 3 years, the last 12 months. Dr. Loretta, right? 324,000. This young lady already put money on land in her hometown where she want to build a medical facility to give back to the community. So this is more than just about money. It's about what you can do with the money. Jane and Godfrey, 338,000. Jezreel and Tonza, 364,000. So I'm showing you all this just to show you that you too can win doing what we do. But you got to respond. Whether it be you moving forward with rolling over your money, whether it be you moving forward with getting an Index Universal Life to start growing your money, do it now, like a sense of urgency now, right? I didn't help many people and I didn't try to help many people, but some didn't move forward and unfortunately they passed away. Some didn't move forward and unfortunately they had a stroke and now they can't get a plug, can't get a policy. You are one hospital visit away from being uninsurable. And you do not want to wait until it happened to you for you to be calling saying, oh, what was that number? Can I get it now? No, you can't. So if you're in good health and you could get something, I will desperately say, get it now. Because the biggest mistake we make in life is thinking we have time. Kobe Bryant didn't think him and his daughter was going to pass, right? You would think his daughter going to live a long time, right? But unfortunately, we're not in control of that. So make sure you do what you are in control of and get yourself taken care of. Life awakening moments. Man living a normal life. 24-year-old, normal life. Life happens. Family's reality. Family's new normal, right? There's a new norm that happens. This is me and my family. My mom, my 3 sisters. I'm the only boy. This business allowed me to build a swimming pool in my backyard. And I invited my mom and sisters over for Mother's Day, 2022, May 2022. Had no idea my sister was sick. She didn't even know. The one next to my mom. This is my sister and her 3 sons and my brother-in-law. And as I told you with the story, 2 months later, she passed away. And was able to leave her family some money. What if this was $1 million policy? What if it was a $2 million policy? This is how wealth is transferred. If you want to leave your family wealthy, make sure you get something and make sure you get something now. When you get something like this, it tells your family that you love them enough to take care of them even when you're gone. So make sure you respond. If anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Guess where that comes from? 1 Timothy 5:8. That's scripture. Also, the Bible tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Well, you won't leave an inheritance working a job day to day. An inheritance, be an entrepreneur and build your own legacy. So what does it take to join us? If you want to get involved with the business, it's going to take you to have a clear background check. You got to obtain a business license, a business ID, which is a $125 investment. I tell people it costs me more to fill up my gas tank than what it costs to start a business. My barbershop, 7 shops, it cost me $20,000 to open up each of those barbershops. This business only costs $125, and you've seen the money. You make that type of money, invest $125 and see where this business take you. The other thing you got to do, you have to get licensed. This business is highly regulated by the state, whatever state you're in. We're in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Canada. So you have to get your license. $125 to join the business. $35 will get you study material for a cram course. And then when you're ready to take the test, $98. Now, most people join this business, they get their license within their first 2 weeks. And you know why? Because license equal income. License equal income. The test, 155 questions, multiple choice. All you got to do is get 90 right. Very easy, very simple. So I do hope you guys decide to come aboard and join the team. Let the person know that invited you out to the call and respond to them. Let them know that you want to move forward, whether it be looking into getting a product for yourself or whether it be joining the business. With that said, that will conclude what I have to share with you guys. May God bless you. May God keep you, and hope I enlighten you with some great information. God bless.